Welcome back to Doctor and Bikini, coming to you live from that secret little stash that's hidden up underneath your mom's bed.
What?
We have here the Doctor and Bikini, Miss Shannon Ahern, freshly back from tour, ripe, ready, and rearing to go.
Wait.
Shannon, from the top, let the people know.
Well, first off, what stash is underneath the mother's bed?
Do I have to say it?
I think I'm gullible here. What? What?
So, for my lovely, inquisitive host over here,
Hmm.
it's where your mom keeps her dildos, vibrators, butt plugs, lube, condoms,
Okay. Well, I was like,
the
I
16-inch alien dildo that lays
maybe it
eggs.
was drugs. I was like, this isn't a drug sponsored podcast.
Nope, not drugs.
Just
Not even a little
dirty
bit.
birdie time. Got
Yep,
it. Got it. Well, thank you for that lovely, very appropriate intro.
that's why you bring me on.
It's true. People do love your well-behaved, mannered self. It's in the ratings.
Good.
Hmm.
That's how it should be. I'm
Yeah.
glad people are seeing me for who I truly am.
Yeah, it's been a minute, so we just wanted to make sure that people didn't forget the
Exactly.
backbone of this podcast.
Yep,
Connor,
still got the dog.
you still got that dog in you.
Still got that dog. But less about me. The people don't care about me, honey. The people
That's not
want to know about you and your DWTS
true.
tour time.
Ah, yes, that is the big question.
Yeah.
I feel like this first episode, I told Connor, I was like, it has to be with you. It just has to be a fun, just catching up with my buddies type of episode because I feel like the next one I have planned is a really good self-help deep one I'm excited about, but I
I
needed to
won't
get
be
a
there
little
for that
rowdy.
one in case anybody was wondering.
Needed to get a little rowdy with you first.
Well, of course.
Well, what do you want to know? What do the people want to know?
Well, the people want to know, first and foremost, what does Gleb Shevchenko smell like? Is it like a rich, deep mahogany
Oh,
that just stings the nostrils?
oh, is this the
Or is it
slang?
like more of a subtle,
Mm,
like Russian?
suave type
Yeah,
scent.
yeah. So what does Gleb smell like?
You know what? Like sunshine and bear hugs and good
Mm,
vibes. Yeah.
that's a beautiful transition. Let's talk about the Great Bear Hug of 2025.
Yeah, I feel like I may have mentioned, honestly, you guys, it's like a black hole. That's the first answer. Like when I reflect on the last 4 months of my life, which was supposed to be 3 months, and I mean it in a positive way, I do. But it just feels like this thing that I did this one time, and it's so hard to explain it. It's like people say, "How did it go? How was it?" And I'm like, that's kind of a big answer. Like, do you want me to start from the top? Do you want me to pull out my photo albums and tell you about each day? But so I think I told people about the hug, but if I didn't, or if they didn't hear that episode, I would say that was one thing that was really deeply needed. There's just this part on the tour where you're like, I can't go on anymore. And Gleb was the homie, and he just, I don't know, he sensed my energy by walking by the room, and he just knew. And yeah, low key, high key, I may or may not have cried during a nice, needed bear hug.
And
So,
for the record, because I know people are probably wondering, I'm a-okay with that because I probably would have done the exact same thing.
yeah. Actually, I think you and I did talk about that when you were on the podcast episode that one time during the tour?
Nope, don't remember. All of this is a black hole.
Yeah, see, for all of us, it's like, how did you survive for 4 months without your wife? Our neighbors thought that you were single.
Accurate. Yeah, it was one day at a time.
Wait, actually,
Oh,
speaking of
Lord.
speaking of our neighborhood, I need to back it up before we go into tour stuff.
Back that ass up.
I need to tell you about the story that I said I wasn't going to tell you until the podcast.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, he was
From the top, honey. Give the people what they
you
want.
guys. Okay, first off, tonight, this will be released tomorrow, so everyone would have made it on the other side.
Podcasting 101, you never break the fourth wall.
Right, right, right. Too late. Tonight is a full moon in Scorpio, in case people are wondering, because I'm sure the people are wondering. And see, this is why we need a video so people can see your face when I start talking about the
And
who's who what's it.
Mercury or Uranus is in the microwave, so
I
things aren't
believe that's
things aren't
normal
going
for
great. Yeah.
Well, no. Okay, so apparently it's a deep time for letting stuff go and tending to the soil and letting things grow, and you have to let stuff go in order to let things grow. Well, Let
We're
me
gonna
tell
put that
you
on a fucking
about
shirt. Stay
letting
tuned.
shit go. You ready?
Born ready.
So I went to the gym. And for those people that do follow me on Instagram, because that's just where I'm the most active on social media, all of the shenanigans, if you don't follow already, they may know that I'm in prep, right?
No.
Shortest prep of my life, by the way. Low key, high key, a little nerve wracking, but I'm feeling good about it. Anyways, with that, I'm natural. I feel like in case someone is new here, they might know, might not. I'm natural, but I do take right now like a fat burner. So nothing crazy. It's just like an over the counter help me burn fat, whatever. Well, if you've ever taken a fat burner before, just think about what that does to the body.
Revs up the system, gets your butthole ready for a blowout.
You know, one could say it helps you to let that shit go.
Mm.
Yeah,
Foreshadowing.
you see where I'm going with
Did
this
you shit your
story.
pants?
No, but I almost did.
Damn.
It was the most intense experience of my life. Let me take you on the ride that I was on today, okay? Went to the gym, went to Pro Physiques. It was great. Drove the 45 minutes to get home here. And you see, where we live, it's kind of like the middle of nowhere. So once you hit a certain point, there are no bathrooms. And for some reason, even though there's not a lot of people that live here, there's a lot of traffic, bumper to bumper. Everyone just forgets how to drive and they just want to drive, leisurely 15 miles per hour below the speed limit. Why? I have no idea. You want to know who wasn't having a good time?
Your butthole.
My butthole. That is
Nice.
right. I'm so glad you finished my sentence.
Gotcha.
So I'm sitting there and, you get a little warning like, uh-oh, I probably have to go soon. Ooh, good thing I'm almost home. And then you're like, ooh, I really, really need to get home. Let me like start to go around traffic. And this is why sometimes when people are speeding like an asshole on the road, I'm like, maybe they have to poop. Well, today was that day for me. I was in my favorite shorts.
Mm.
I'm sitting there. It was to the point where I thought like leaning to a side and blasting up the AC would help. I was trying to like
Cold
offload.
doesn't help. Heat doesn't
No,
help.
he
Rolling down the windows helps.
I,
I've been
I
there.
didn't know what. I was trying to lean to the side, like offload my butthole a little bit. That didn't work. I
Mm-mm.
literally, when you're looking for where to drive and you have to turn the radio down so that way you can think, I turned the radio off so that way I could focus on not shitting my pants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I had the AC going, and I was like, oh, sitting this way doesn't work. I can't sit up because that just crunches things more. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to like extend in the driver's seat.
That doesn't help.
It's not working.
Nope.
I'm sweating more than I was during this leg day that I just did. I'm like, whew, fat burners kicking in. I don't know, something. So I'm getting to the point where I'm on like the long stretch to where nobody like there's no houses, there's no businesses, it's just dirt road and farm and cows.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, it's broad daylight. There's a bunch of people on the road. I can't just pull over and like poop behind the Jeep.
Sure you
I
can.
I mean, I could,
Sure you can.
but these are our neighbors we're talking about. They're
Fuck
all
them.
trying to go
Fuck
the
'em.
same way. They don't need to meet my third eye, okay?
Your balloon knot? You don't want to. Some people pay good money for that.
Oh my God. We need to circle back to the money question too when I'm done with this story because the people need to answer. Just curious. The toe.
Oh, I was gonna bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Come on.
just giving you and our audience, maybe they hate this, maybe they love it. I don't know, maybe they can relate, especially since apparently that's a thing today. People having digestive issues.
Mm-hmm.
Saw it on Instagram, so it must be true, right?
Yep.
With this full moon, and I was like, that must be it. It was one of those things where you can literally hear yourself like start to go, and I was at the point where I was like, I'm gonna have to throw these shorts out.
Mm.
Get in the house, I kick my shoes off, I trip because it got stuck. And then
Fucking
I'm
athlete.
sprinting through. I'm like doing a little like high knee jog through our house. I get to the carpet in our bedroom and I was like, I get it. I get the bridesmaid scene, how she sees the white carpet. She's like, oh God, I gotta get off this white carpet. And then it came out of me like lava. So I got to star in Bridesmaids there for a second.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. It
Welcome to
was
my Tuesday.
quite the ride.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been that sweaty of holding a poop in years.
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah, I've had some good ones.
But I did make it.
I've had some really good ones.
I believe it.
Like I was driving home from this was when I was trying to get on with the local fire department and I was driving all the way out to the ghetto. Fucking Jesus, it was like 3 times a week to go work out with the guys and play the nepotism game and all that BS. And I would do that in the morning before I went on shift. This was when I was still with another local fire department.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go up there, I'd work out, and it was like from their station to the station I was working at, it was like, I don't know, probably 30, 45 minutes. And it's in central, big city,
Mm-hmm.
big city, ghetto, ghetto, ghetto. So I'm driving and I can kind of feel it. It's like, okay, fuck, like, here it comes. Like, I've been through this before. This isn't my first rodeo. I know what to do. So I'm like looking around, looking around. I'm like, nah, I really don't feel like getting hepatitis over there. Nah, I really don't want to have, I don't have hobo stav insurance, so I can't do that. Do I run the risk of getting shot? Maybe. So I finally find, thank God, and it was a Hail Mary. It was a Hail Mary. It was like I was on the freeway and it was like, I don't care what the first exit I hit is. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be the first time somebody shit on the street in this place. Guaranteed. 100%. So I pull off having no idea what's around this exit.
I can see your face during this, by the way. It looks desperate.
I was keeping it cool. So I go in. I get off on this random exit and it was like the Lord himself graced me with this Jack in the Box.
Oh no.
So this Jack in the Box is just my saving grace, and it's right there, right like literally, you didn't even need to throw a rock. You could just like kick a rock, and it's right there. Like, okay, cool, I'm good. I make it into the Jack in the Box. I go hauling ass. Ladies say hi. The cashiers like hi, what's up? Don't even acknowledge them. Don't even pretend like I pretend they're not even there. They know what I'm about to do. So I wrap that corner. Motherfuck. The men's restroom had just caution tape and like, yeah, I don't know
No.
if somebody died or somebody was about to do what I was going to do.
Or it smelled like something died.
I don't know. So my only other option was the ladies' bathroom.
Oh no.
And I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. This is coming out of me whether there's a woman in there or not. Like, call the cops. I won't be here when they get here. I don't give a shit. So I beeline it into the women's restroom. Thank God nobody was there to begin with.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I get back there, I get in the stall. Literally, Lucifer himself came crawling out of my ass, and it was glorious. It was like I lost probably 10 pounds. Like that porcelain throne was not ready for the absolute horror show that was coming out of me. So I wrap up. As I'm wrapping up, I hear the door open. I'm like, well, you know what? Here we go. I'm just gonna have to take one on the chin and just like acknowledge that this woman's in the bathroom with me as I'm giving birth out of my ass. So I wrap up. I'm like, okay. Like I don't hear the stall next to me. I don't hear the door close. I'm like, fuck. Like what the hell is this fucking beezer doing? Like what the hell?
Mhm.
Come on. So I'm like, at this point, I have to go. I have work. Like the clock is ticking.
Oh no.
So I just hop up, I walk out, and it was a dude cleaning the bathroom. And he looks at me, I look at him, and it was like this moment of like, he knew. He knew what was going on.
Oh my
And it
god.
was just like a nod. He nodded. I washed my hands. Never to this day will ever see that man ever again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was the homie. It was just kind of like a don't worry, brother. Like I've been there.
Oh
Yeah, I've
my.
I've been down that deep, dark brown rabbit hole. Like, don't even worry about it.
Okay, so you just reminded me.
Oh,
So,
we're
yeah,
so in
one more
case everybody
story.
was wondering, this is gonna be a shit-filled episode.
I swear we'll get to the
To Gleb's absolutely,
or all the other things,
yeah.
but one more just because I feel like you'll appreciate this. I
Mm,
feel like I mean we had met each other before this, but we weren't dating. But in my angsty years, there was a party that I went to in college. It was a
Wait a minute.
yeah, I know. See, that's I was like, it's coming.
Did
Nope. Nope. Sure didn't.
were you in a
Nope.
fraternity?
Nope.
Now's your time to shout out them fellow sisters. Labes up for Harambe.
Oh
Fucking get them
my
out there. Come
god.
on. Let them know. Let them know. 80 pie, do or die. Oorah, oorah, oorah.
Anyways,
They sacrifice
So,
goats, kill virgins. It's not even that big of a deal.
long story short, I had a date to a party. It was a zip tie party, meaning you were literally zip tied to the person that you came with. Yep.
Mm.
Really, really healthy looking back at it. Until you both finish said beverage. Savage, really. The fact that, like, I made it out alive, miracle. Anyways, I worked so hard to get this drink down so I could cut the little zip tie away free
So
from
you
my
can
date
shit.
so I could take a big old dookie.
Yeah.
And the worst nightmare happened. As soon as I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom, they said, okay, I'll go after you. And I was like, no, no, that's okay. Turns out only one bathroom was available to the entire party.
Love that.
Connor, when I tell you I let out, same thing, same demon that crawled out of you, crawled out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I was super calm, cool, collected. I think I was probably 21 on the dot.
Mm.
Walked out. Sure enough, there's my accompanied party to this date, and I said, "Ooh, just so you know," I was like, "The guy that went before me," or so I said, "The girl that went before
What
me."
an ass. You
Because
own that shit.
I didn't know this person. I was like, "Oh, the girl that went before me," blah blah blah. He comes out. He goes, "A woman did that."
Wow. This is also pre-protein Shannon too.
This is
That's
pre-protein shit. Yeah, it was so
that's
bad,
impressive.
so bad. I told them later.
Good for you.
Yeah,
At least you owned it.
yeah.
That's half the battle.
Anyways, as fun as it is reliving war
Did
stories,
I ever tell the one where I shit next to the car?
you did tell me. I don't know if you told them.
Oh, the people got to know.
Oh God.
So I was a young, strapping young
Last
lad.
one, we promise.
Yeah, this should be it, but this is a good one. This is the legendary one, right? So this one is definitely peak. I peaked early. I peaked really early, if you couldn't tell. So
Ridiculous.
I was a young, strapping lad.
Oh my God.
I was balling out with the boys.
Oh
Yep,
yeah.
I had a baseball game.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and where the fields were was, I swear to you, it at the time felt like 2 miles away from where the fields were to where the toilet was. And I was catcher, so I'm squatting. I'm squatting the entire, like damn near the entire game, at least half the game, right?
Yeah, your pelvic floor was ready.
Well, can we not talk about my 13-year-old pelvic floor, please?
We're talking about your
That's
balloon knot, as you say. So
no, no. This is 13-year-old me, okay? Touchy subject. Anyway, so it was like forever away. So I'm squatting down. I'm like, fuck, like it's coming, dude. Like I gotta go. Like I'm getting the sweats, whatever. Thank God the inning ends. I wasn't up to bat for like at least like, 4 or 5 guys. I'm like, okay, I got some time.
mm.
So Cardinal Sin, I started running.
Oh no.
I left the dugout. I started hightailing it to the bathroom. Hindsight 2020, terrible idea.
Mm.
It gets things it
Gets the
starts
things going. Gets the people
mushing
going.
shit around. It's just not a good time. So I get probably about, I don't know, a third of the way there.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, it's like, it's a no-fly zone. Like there's no more sphincter control. Like it's gonna come out of me or it's gonna go into my pants. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So luckily it was a night game. And there really wasn't a whole lot of cars out there, but there was one Lincoln Navigator, which is like a big SUV.
Mm-hmm.
There's one Lincoln Navigator out in the middle of the parking lot. And you only do that if you have like a new vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I see this Lincoln Navigator, and I'm like, my brother in Christ, I'm sorry. I'm about to do disgusting things next to your car. So, and by the way, if this happened to anybody who listens to this, fat chance, please let me know your name because I think that would just be so funny. So, I see this Lincoln Navigator, target in sight. You know what?
Turns.
Sorry, buddy. So next to the driver's side door, because that was the closest side.
You savage.
Yeah,
You couldn't have even
100%.
gone to the passenger
I
side.
couldn't have even gone to the front where that nobody had any chance.
Hmm.
Nope, fuck that. So I went straight to the driver's side door, drop trow, and I just there's a piece of me in Chandler, Arizona, in that asphalt forever.
Oh my God.
So the demon comes out of me. Now I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm straight, right? So now I can walk to the bathroom because I still got to wipe. I'm not a fucking Neanderthal. So I walk to the bathroom, wipe, take care of the rest of my business, and then I come back, play the rest of the game without a hitch. Everything's fine. So I get in the car.
Mm-hmm.
My parents take me home. I get in the car, and they're like, "Where were you? Like, you just like up and left." I'm like, "I'm glad everybody's sitting down. Glad everybody's fucking, you're not gonna fall out of your chair." So I tell them the entire story.
Oh my god.
My parents started fucking dying laughing, and then we started running through scenarios of like, you know, Billy went 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts, just had a terrible game. Dad's ripping him a new asshole. And then the dad goes to like step into the car
No.
and he just like slips a little bit. He's like, "Oh, that's weird, whatever." He hops in his brand new Lincoln Navigator, hopefully with some tan interior.
Oh
And
my
he starts driving home and then he just starts like, "Fuck, man, like what the hell is that smell?" He looks down. There's just me and my fucking fecus all over this person's fucking Lincoln Navigator. It
god.
was just the scenarios are way more funny than the actual event, and the event is pretty funny. But like the scenarios that could have taken place are just glorious. It's fantastic.
Well, now everybody knows.
Yeah, yeah. So if you happen to own a Lincoln Navigator roughly from, 2005 to 2008 and it was never the same after a baseball game, DM Shannon, let her know.
Yeah.
Let her know.
Well, thank you all for sticking
That
with
was
us
this week's
after.
episode
Yeah.
of Shit and Talk.
On this week's episode of Letting That Shit Go,
Mm-hmm.
cleansing on the full moon.
Oh yeah.
Anyways,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So that was really the big thing I wanted to tell you today.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
That was definitely everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah, you're
Would
welcome.
have been better if you actually shit your pants, but
Yeah,
can't
maybe
always,
next time.
can't always get what we want.
Yeah.
So back to tour.
Back to tour.
Back to tour. So Gleb, the absolute fucking Adonis that he is, he embraced you
Yep.
when you were in your low moment.
Yep.
And it fixed everything.
There were a lot of homies on the tour. I will say, I guess if I'm telling someone, how was tour? If I'm gonna give my first honest answer, I feel like maybe I should start there. The beginning was so hard.
That's what she said.
Oh my god. It sounds so crazy because I feel like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like my brain just isn't wired the way other people's brains are. And I feel like in the beginning, I was almost guilty because so many people would just be jazzed and stoked about the experience, and I was, but I feel like I was just so emotional in the beginning because, like, I don't know how people do it when they leave for years at a time. People in the service that are away from their partners most of the time, people that, I don't know, maybe they go on like a religious mission for years at a time. I mean, even just knowing that I was going to be gone for a chunk of time and that my routine was going to be completely different, I really struggled with that. So, I mean,
At no point did she miss me, by the way. She was just worried about her routine and her.
no, you were obviously a part of my day in, day out. You give me a little smooch in the morning while I'm still asleep. That's part of my routine. We have our little rituals every single day that we do that everyone does behind closed doors. We have our things. That's part of my routine.
Like sucking on toes.
Oh my god. You guys, he asked me a question earlier.
We have a guest at the house.
Yes, Kaylin. She's
And
staying with us until July.
she was bringing up something about sucking on toes.
No,
And
she did no such thing.
you're right. I brought up sucking on toes. Not that I'm into it. I don't like kink.
Thank you for telling
I
people
don't
that.
kink shame.
Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
about that. Let
Right.
your freak flag fly. Like,
Right.
do what you got to do to get your nut. But we brought up toes and like sucking on toes.
We did not bring up
So
toes. You brought up toes. We were
we,
talking about dead plants,
as a
and you were like,
collective group, we brought up sucking on toes. So I pitched the typical. If there's any dudes listening, you 100% know where this is going. You have to ask, how much is the minimum amount of money you would take to suck on a toe for 2 minutes? And somebody said $1 million. And I said, wow, you're a cheap date. I have to have at least 15. 15 milli, you get my mouth for at least 5 minutes.
see, okay, God. Forever.
Shannon also never gave an answer.
No, I did.
Oh, you
First,
said.
I asked for qualifications, which I just feel like I have to apologize
See,
to
and
people who are new here.
this is the difference between men and
They're
women.
like, why is this titled Doctor in a Bikini when you're talking about
People
poop and toes?
need to understand that this is the clearest depiction of the difference between men and women.
Yeah,
Men are
sure.
just like, fuck it, dude. Give me like a 6 pack of Coors Light and a 50 spot, and I'll suck every single one of them little piggies.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
And girls are like, well,
You said 20
did
mil. That's
they
not $5
did
a
they
six pack.
get a manicure, pedicure?
I
Are they
asked.
clean
Yeah,
feet?
okay, I asked. Those are important questions. I was like, do I get to choose the foot? Do they shower?
See, and that's not
Are we
that's
soaking it in alcohol
I
first?
understand, but what you're not getting because you have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
boobs and a vagina
Thank you.
is it's different. If
Right.
you had this conversation with instead of me and two females, it was three dudes,
Yeah, we wouldn't be asking each
we
other
would be
that.
like
It's not
100%.
bikini talk. We're not like, hey, girl. We're talking about like, hey, what food do you want to go get? Not, would you suck on a toe?
See, and that's why men have more fun.
But I did text you today. I was like, hey, isn't boobs kind of a weird word? So, like, I have some random thoughts. I just don't think about how much money I would be willing to accept to suck on a toe.
If you have a husband or a significant other who's a male, ask him how often. To hell with the stupid, like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? No, fuck that. You got to ask him, like, how often does it pop into your head? Like, how much would I need to have in my bank account to do X, Y, and Z? It's more often than you think. I promise you.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see like some nasty shit and be like, yeah, God, it would have to take at least like low end, probably 5 million on any, like, it's just like a fleeting thought.
One game that everyone did play a lot, particularly the guys, but everyone did, was What Are the Odds on tour. So that was funny. Like, what are the odds that you would do this, or what are the odds? You ever play that game?
No,
No?
no.
Oh, it was funny.
Were the dudes having fun?
Yeah, a lot of
Did
them
it?
were the ones that said it. It's like, what are the odds that you would do, like, that you would, gosh. One that someone had to do is like, what are the odds that you would wear the Mickey ears when we were in Florida during the show, during this part? And
One,
then you would
one
like,
and one. I'd do that. Period.
well, we would say like, between like 1 and 3 or something like that. And then you and I would say what number we were thinking of at the same time. And if we said the same number, then you would have to do it.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. That's complicated.
So, like, if I said, hey, Connor, what are the odds that you would go streaking on our street that we live on?
Mm-hmm.
And you would be like, ooh, that's going to have to be like 1 to 200. And I'd be like, really? Chicken? 1 to 50. You'd be like, I don't know. There's kids on our street. And I'd be like, fair, okay, 1 to 200. And then, yeah.
That's confusing, and I don't understand.
But if it's something that you would be willing to do, then it's like 1 to 3. And then it's like, ooh, because the odds are higher that we would pick the same number. So they played that all the time, the whole tour. And usually it was like that you would do this during the show. And then a lot of times it would happen. They'd have to do something during the show,
Gotcha.
which was pretty funny.
Yeah, never played that. Never even heard of that.
Or, okay, wait, since tour is done and no one will get in trouble, something else that people do, really funny. So there was like pass the lipstick, or I helped with this animal game. Basically, I wrote on a bunch of papers for everybody, like farm animals. So I did like a duck, I did a dapper horse, I did like a, I don't know, I don't even remember what else I did. Bunch of animals. And basically I shuffled it up so that way people would have a partner. And during the show, so if you and I both got duck, like make your best duck noise.
Quack.
Commit to it.
Yeah.
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 So during the dance, you could only do it once per number. So if I suspected you versus Kaylin, I was like, all right, I'm next to Connor during this dance. So during the dance, during the live show, I'm going to randomly in your ear go, wah, wah.
Got it.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. Something that people wouldn't know unless they listen to this podcast.
Easter egg.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Little Dancing with the Stars Easter egg. Now that the tour is over and no one will get in trouble.
Mm-hmm. So another Easter egg that I'm sure the people are just dying to hear. What was your favorite and least favorite part of the tour?
Of the tour or of touring?
Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time. One more time. What was your favorite and your least favorite part of the tour?
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for clarifying.
You're
I'll
welcome.
feel so much more clear now.
Good. Good. Because the tour and touring apparently are two different things.
Right. What? They are
So,
different things.
the tour, like it could be something like I really liked seeing all these new places that I never thought I was ever gonna go, like
No.
Ohio. Yeah, you're right. I hate that. Or at
Ohio was
least
great because I got to meet Abigail and Ben, but
you're right. Shout out to Abigail and Ben.
mhm.
But also leave Ohio. No, don't be there.
I mean, the Arnold was there. That's pretty dope. Anyways, sideways. This
Anyway,
is why people want the video so they can
you
see the
keep
faces we
trying.
make.
That's not gonna happen.
Um,
This face is behind a paywall, honey.
all right.
You think I just throw this shit around for free? Absolutely not.
I feel like I have a lot of favorites about the tour. Do I have to choose one? Or can I say a few different things?
Folks, if you want, I can go ahead and go through this one more time
All right,
for the
one
listeners.
thing, one
One thing.
thing.
One thing. The thing. Top shit. Top shelf.
Ooh, the thing. That's tough.
Johnny Walker Black. You gotta have one.
I don't know. There were a lot of things I did really enjoy. My favorite thing about the tour. God, it's tough picking one. I gotta think out loud. So obviously, I appreciated being around the people. I know.
I'm
I
glad the
know.
folks get to listen to this because this happens literally every single time I ever ask Shannon a question. Literally ever. She's like, well, hold on. There's a lot of different scenarios that could play out. So I'm going to have to just talk out loud and say a lot of words, but not answer the question.
You're such a butt.
Yeah, correct.
Ugh. Well, if I just say something and I'm not sure, I don't want to just say something. I gotta be honest, you know?
Yeah, so be honest about it.
I know, but I got
Don't lie to the people.
I don't know what my favorite thing is. Obviously, seeing the dances is like are cool. I would say, you know what?
Here we go.
My favorite thing was getting the chance to do such an abnormal, cool, creative job. Really. Like it was just the fact that I was there, like I loved it's just like whenever you're competing, like it's really cool with all of the music and the stage, like you can feel the energy. Like I actually just loved the opportunity to work the tour because I feel like as someone who went through a very traditional route of, school had to look a certain way and then you had to get into grad school and you had to do all these things to be successful or whatever society wanted or your parents wanted. And I think
That's the Asian upbringing, by the way. That is so not my upbringing.
yeah, that was
Cannot relate.
my upbringing.
Cannot relate.
So, I mean, I think I just really enjoyed doing something that spoke to my creative soul and that felt unconventional. So I would say if I had to pick one thing about the tour being my favorite, it was literally just getting the opportunity to be there and just have such an unconventional job. I like things to be fun and my own. So it felt that way. But it's tough because obviously the people being able to see the performances from the side of the stage, like that was something really cool that most people don't get to say.
Can confirm I got to see it from the side of the stage and it was a banana sauce.
Yeah, like you don't just get to watch the performance, you get to feel the performance. And
I did not feel it. I got to watch it.
so I would say that was my favorite. My least favorite, I mean, obviously was being away from you and
Here we
everybody.
go.
I mean, if you're
Not this
making
pretty
me
new house that we just got. Honey didn't miss that.
if you're making me choose, I'd say that, but since that's the easy answer, I would say let's see.
Living out of a suitcase probably sucked.
That really was terrible.
Like having to do your dirty
See, that's
laundry.
why let me list multiple for their sake because they didn't get to experience it.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So, starting with some of the favorites, I loved catering. Like it was really cool the fact that you literally get free food most days, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like that's pretty cool. And some of the places really went all out. I mean, I've never had so much banana pudding in my life or so many cookies and stuff. So, on that note too, I'm really proud of myself for gaining under 10 pounds the entire 4 months when you literally have unlimited food
For the
all of the
record, I
time.
told her before she left she better keep that shit tight.
You did not. Oh my God. He would literally never, and I would have
I wouldn't.
smacked you.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Um, so that was really cool. Yes, getting to see certain places that I maybe wouldn't have flown to. Like, honestly, I didn't expect to appreciate places like Bethlehem so much. It was so cute. There were all these cute little shops, getting to experience that.
Bethlehem,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Yeah, you say that like it's common knowledge. People may think
Oh.
that you went back to the
Well,
promised land.
the
I don't
people don't forget when I wasn't able to pronounce Schenectady. Yeah. LOL. Thank you to the listener who corrected me.
know. What'd you just call me?
Schenectady, New York?
That sounds like a skin disease, like a venereal disease.
My God.
That sounds like something that you catch
The
from a
way
dirty
it's
toilet seat.
the way it's spelt when I first saw it, I was like Schenectady, but it's Schenectady.
Okay.
We're from Arizona, so we didn't know that. But yeah, that's so places like that I wouldn't have pronounced before, getting to have coffee in all the places. I mean, that was really my mission and I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it was really cool being on a tour bus, I'm not gonna lie. It was really cool, people screaming and going nuts. Like, when else am I gonna be getting onto a tour bus? People going nuts.
Banana sauce.
That was cool. People were literally like beating on the bus sometimes. That was crazy.
I'm
But
probably.
cool.
I think I'm in somebody's photo album.
Are you?
Yeah, from Chicago.
That was cool.
That
When the
was really
whole
cool.
place got rented out for us, that was dope.
Well, that was cool. But like when we got on the bus to go to the hotel,
Yeah.
I'm like standing in the front,
Oh, you were
and it's
yucking it up.
oh fuck yeah, absolutely. I will. I People say never. I'm gonna say never. I will never be on a tour bus where people want to take pictures of me. So I was hamming it up. So I'm like, it's a tour bus, right? So you got like the big ass front windshield, and there's people like going bananas
Mm-hmm.
outside like the gates and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I'd like peek around and I'd like look, and people would like, oh my god, who is that? And then I'd like hide.
Oh my gosh.
And then I like peek out again, and people were like, "Oh my god, there he is again!" And I'd like hide, and I peeked out another time, and then people's like phones were out. I'm like, God, if only these
My
fucking
Uncle John
assholes
did
knew.
that in Atlanta. I had him come to the PT room, and there was like a perfect window looking to where all the fans were lined up. He literally put on a hood and acted like he was hiding, incognito. And then he looked, and the fans were like, and he hid, and he went back out and he waved. Oh, it was the funniest
Yeah,
ever because
you gotta ham it up.
if people knew Uncle John, they were like, "Oh, he loved every bit of that."
Oh
He was
yeah,
like, "Oh, oh, smiling for the camera. Oh, hee hee, you caught me."
yeah.
Ooh, that was another like random, funny kind of ego thing. One of my favorite things. Whenever I walked somewhere I wasn't supposed to, quote, and someone would give me, I'd be like, "Oh no, I'm with the tour."
Such an ass.
Flex.
Such an ass.
But true, like one time there were all these fans staring at the bus and just waiting and stalking and waiting. I had to go get my shower shoes because I was like, I'm not going barefoot in this shower in the venue. Disgusting. Won't miss those. That's on my least favorite list. But I'm on a mission because we have to be out of the venue by a certain time. He goes, ma'am, ma'am. And I was like,
Sir, sir.
so seriously, I will not miss some of the locals. Some of them really get in your face and really take their job very seriously and are not very nice. And he looked at me like crazy. And I just held up my badge. I was like, I'm with the tour. I was like, man, something feels so good about saying those words. I'm like,
Give
yeah,
somebody a little bit of power, goes straight to the old noggin.
when will I ever, you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. Getting after show food was cool. And honestly, being on the bus, like pulling tarot cards with the bus, that became our ritual. And that was just really cool. Being able to have crepes from the Pashkov's family. I mean, authentically made crepes from their family. Ugh.
Shout out to my Russians.
Me making that video, which then resulted in Nutella sending us a box titled The Chill Bus because of my TikTok. Fun fact.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Torbus.
Yeah. So those were some highlights. Some things that I'll definitely appreciate and miss for sure.
That was gonna be my next question. Is like, is there anything now that you've been home for a minute that you're like, damn, I really miss X, Y, and Z?
Mm, it's gonna sound bad. Actively, I don't super miss anything, but I think that's because of me. Because I literally, you know, I got home, I set my own macros. The next morning, I started prep. I went from I have a job to I'm an entrepreneur, self employed,
Mm,
and I'm doing a show in under 9 weeks because I'm crazy.
accurate.
So I don't think I've been trying to sit and think about it. And that's another reason why I want to do this episode. So we could just kind of recap and relive. Because when someone asks me out and about how was tour, it's not actually like a time to unpack everything, or sometimes I just don't know what to say unless I get the right questions. So yeah. But I would say honestly, probably the people. I would say like our bus. Like
Your
I
bus was pretty dope.
yeah, our bus was so cool. The family bus. I mean, we obviously had little Nikita on there. I even missed Dave and his little tangents. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was all bark no bite and just really sweet supportive person. I even I even grew to appreciate sleeping on the bus. It was like
Well,
almost
yeah,
like
because
white
that little
noise.
like hum
Yeah.
that knocks you out cold.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was like nice and chilly in your little coffin, so it was like it was cold and you were getting lulled to sleep, and then sometimes you'd open the window and that was really cool, and you're in some random snowy place, or there's lots of trees, or like every day you'd open your window and it was something different. So I think that part was cool too. And I do miss that a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that for
Yeah.
sure.
I would say the least favorite part though, because you asked about that too. For sure, showering in the venues, not a fan. Living out of the suitcase, like you said, it took probably at least half of the tour to get a groove of, all right, dirty laundry. Oh, we're somewhere cold. Oh, we're somewhere hot. Having, all your things to go into the venue because you didn't really want to go under the bus, especially if it was snowing or raining or windy or you didn't have time. So just making sure you had everything that you needed was definitely an experience.
Sounds like it.
Even for an organized person, that was enough to drive somebody a little nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now the next pressing question.
let's
We'll
hear it.
try and tie this, put a little bow on this, Beezy.
Mm-hmm.
Will you do it again? If given the opportunity
Uh-huh.
to do it again without any spoilers,
Mm.
would you do it again?
You're gonna roll your eyes at me because I'm gonna do that thing again.
So just wait. It's going to be about 15 to 20
No,
minutes
you
until we
gosh.
get the answer.
No, okay, so here are some stipulations or questions. What's the length of the tour this upcoming year? Is it longer? Is it shorter? Because for those who remember, it was 3 months and it got extended to four. Is it gonna get extended to five because 4 months did so well? You never know. And if so, do we get more than one day in each place? Because sometimes, most of the time, I would say, because a lot of people ask, how much did Connor visit you? I'm like, I don't think y'all realize we were pretty much very far from home almost the entire time. Not a cheap ticket. Connor can't sleep on the bus, which means he would have to make arrangements to either fly to and from within one day or catch an Uber to the next state. So just
Logistics were a nightmare.
yeah, it was hard to have
That's
you
why
visit me or vice versa.
Tri-Rack worked out so good.
Yeah, so it's like I would wonder, would that be different? Would we have more days off? Would it just be the one day off? I don't know, but I think maybe with enough time away, because I think it's still too soon. I'm enjoying being home. I missed everybody. Um, I don't know. I don't think I would say no. If you were to ask me, it wouldn't just be a flat out no, I wouldn't do it again. I would just be curious about what it would look like
Need some
before,
more details.
yeah, before I 100% said sure
Yeah,
without a thought I'd do it, you know?
for sure.
But, and also it's like, will my people be on there? Will it be the same people? Will it
Mhm.
be the same family bus? Will it be different? I
Yeah.
don't know. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that'd be hard to top, especially as my first tour, which that's another thing. just while I'm, I guess, telling everybody, I went, I started crying and I went out crying.
Correct.
Like a typical Cancer moon. Had to throw
Yeah.
in the astrology.
For all 3 people that listen to this that know what that means,
But for real, like,
shout out.
I called you crying and you were like, I knew this was gonna happen. How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you remember when you ran your marathon and the whole time you were just kind of embracing it and doing what you could?
Yeah.
And then you passed the finish line and what happened?
I was happy.
You got a little leaky because you're like, I did it.
Yeah.
And it was like the same thing. Obviously, I was crying because, you know, I don't do good with goodbyes in general. But also, I don't think I realized just how tough it was to be away from everyone and everything for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you think about it, it's like you literally don't go home from work at that point. You're always at work. You know, everyone on tour knows this one version of you. And depending on the day or how much interactions you have, you know, you might have days where you feel like people don't really know you, and that might feel a little lonely, especially when the other hobbies and things that make you you, like your routine with competing or, you know, your space, or like even though you love everything about the tour, you're still human. So it's like when I finally made it to the end, I think it was like I allowed myself finally to feel all those things. So it was like all the waterworks of just like, I made it, I did it. Oh my God. Like, that was so cool, but also I'm like I can't wait to be home, my own bed, my own shower.
Own toilet.
Yeah, all the things because you can't poop on the bus.
Cannot poop on the bus.
So, yeah, I don't know. Amazing experience. I think that's why I wanted to make this episode was to give people a bit more of a real answer versus it was great and then are you so happy to be home? Yeah, I'm so happy to be home. Oh, that's great. What's next? You know, just give people a bit more of a lengthier answer.
Well, I think we nailed it.
I think so, and more. Maybe a little too much, but that's okay. That's what
That's
they
all
signed
right.
up for.
Yep, that is what they signed up for.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else from your tour that you would like to add, remove?
Um, I would say if people have more questions, feel free to send them because I'll always answer them. I just, like I said, I have to have the right questions, and then it jogs my memory, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've got a story for that. But otherwise, right now, no, I think that was the perfect amount, and I just appreciate you because we also guys, it was like an hour before we finally got to start this podcast because, like I said, full moon. It was like everything was lost and then the technology wasn't working and it was just a whole thing. So I just appreciate you being so patient and being here when you have to get up early in the morning for work. You're the best.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Anything else for you?
Duh.
I figured, but I didn't want to assume.
Go ahead, honey. Lead us in.
Hit us with the animal of the week, Connor.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. And we're gonna do a little twofer here.
All right,
We're
let's
gonna
get it.
shout out to our fellow Russians.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So this week we have the Amur leopard.
Oh.
Yep. It is a rare subspecies that is la la la
La
la la
la
la la. Words are hard.
la.
It's a rare subspecies of leopard that, when you think leopard, right, you're like, okay, we get it. It's in Africa. It's fast as fuck, boy. Like, we get it.
Boy.
But this one in particular likes the cold.
Oh.
So imagine how terrifying that is.
Mm-hmm.
You have this gigantic jungle kitten
Mm-hmm.
that is able to haul ass
Yeah.
in the snow. And snow, let's be honest, makes everybody tougher. Look at the Russians.
Accurate.
They live in that like 9 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And it's like sub-zero. You don't fuck with the Russians. They'll get you. But yes, 37 miles per hour, top speed. Yeah,
Jeez.
that they're getting a ticket in a neighborhood.
Yeah. 100%.
Just
They're shading us schools out.
hauling ass, just ready to kill you with its murder mittens. Like,
Murder mittens.
so, shout out to our leopards. Love to see it. Moon's in the microwave. Uranus is in retrograde or
well,
something.
thank you. Thank you for that.
And that's all I have for this week's episode.
Well, I would say this episode is now complete. Thank you so much, Connor.
You're welcome.
Well, like I said, if I did forget anything, any questions, I did technically record a whole part 1 of Dance PT questions while I was on the road. So that's going to be released from the vault later. So if you sound confused, if you're confused because I'm still on tour from that episode, that's why. I just haven't released it from the vault yet. But that one's coming, as well as another episode I'm really excited about. In the meantime, if you have, like I said, any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, or, if you really want to see Connor on video,
Please don't.
all the above, let me know.
Please
Let a
don't.
girl know. DM me all of the shenanigans. And of course, like I said earlier, I am full time with the podcast. I am full time with Posing Prehab. So if you have even thought about being a guest on the podcast or working with me through my posing or posing prehab services, make sure to let me know. But otherwise, I think it's time for you to take us out, Connor.
I think it's time for me to take us out there, Shannon.
That's a great idea, honey.
Thanks, honey. Say thanks for listening, putting up with all of our shit.
Yeah,
Literally.
literally.
Literally. And I will see you guys later.
They'll see you later.
Damn
Have a good
it.
week, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.